Hey everybody, it's Zafir from No Love Lost 2.0. So welcome back to the show, guys. So today I just want to talk about different situations that may happen in relationships. I always tell people if you're not ready to leave a situation, there's no reason to go off. It's like Evelyn Braxton said, if you're not getting ready to leave that man, let that man cheat in peace. I never understood why people would complain and argue about something they say they're ready to leave. But then I've been that person where I was complaining and arguing, saying, "Oh, fuck you, I want you to leave. I don't care. I don't care." We like so it's like I didn't understand and then I understood. As life goes on, you understand that hey, you could find yourself in that situation where you're not ready to leave, but at the same time you don't know how to navigate through the process of healing for yourself by yourself without that person. So you attack that person in order to get what you need from them, thinking that that's going to ultimately give you some healing or some get back or a lick back. So I'm just thinking about a few people in my life, how they may go through different things and they don't know how to transition. They don't know how to transition to realizing that you do not have to battle someone to love you. You do not have to battle someone to care or to respect your boundaries. You do not have to battle someone to be the version of themselves that you want them to be. You need to allow them to show you who they are at all times and Hey everybody, it's Saphir from No Love Lost 2.0, and welcome back to the show. So I just was thinking about how sometimes we may get into these relationships with people and we don't understand that as we're setting these boundaries and we're getting to know people, we have to always realize that people are not going to be who they say they are. We have to believe them to show us who they are. So I have people in my life who go through infidelity or mishaps in relationships with friendships and even partners or family. I, for instance, have had issues with my family for different things of trust, love, and being hurt and being broken by them, and vice versa. And I'm sure I've done the same to them. I don't care now. But the reason why I don't care now is because I have now moved on past it. I have forgiven myself and I have forgiven them. Meaning that just because the forgiveness is there does not put a place at the table for you to sit and eat with me anymore. So I do realize that a lot of us do lack emotional maturity sometimes because, and yes, it's natural human emotion to get angry. It's natural human emotion to show that passion or, but forever, whatever reason that may be. But at the same time, if you allow someone to take you to a place that you cannot come back from, and you now can look in that mirror and realize you are not who you were, you made a major mistake. And the reason why I say that is because we have to know when to walk away. We have to sit here and stop saying we're going to leave somebody knowing we ain't going nowhere and we about to argue with them. That's same like dealing with your toxic mother or your toxic father or siblings. It's like you keep saying how you're going to separate yourself from them and you're going to move on and you're going to live your own life and you're not going to participate in anything that's not for you anymore. People love to get on social media and hype themselves up and get a whole bunch of likes, and it feels good, right? It feels amazing. But then you have to come back to the reality of life that you still continue to deal with people like that. People don't realize just because you get rid of one toxic person doesn't mean that all the toxic people that are going to keep trying to come into your corner or come into your life are going to dissipate or disappear. What it comes back down to is you have to know when to set those boundaries and be straightforward, because a lot of people will come into your life just to sit in that audience just to see you fail. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't realize that you have to understand who you are as a person in order to be with anyone or even to have relations with anyone. Like I know so many people who have bad parent and child relationships. Shit, I'm one of them. But you know what? At the same time, I've gotten to a place where I have done all I could and I have now moved on. And in that process, I realized that I cannot make someone, meaning my parent, be how I want them to be. And that goes back to if your partner does something that you don't feel is respectful, you cannot sit here and attack them over and over and over again. Meanwhile, you ain't trying to leave. If you know you're not leaving, what was the argument about? I know so many people who will argue with their partners, get into these big disagreements, sitting here getting to these shouting matches, and you already know you're not going nowhere. You already know that this is the moment that you are getting this energy out because you're upset. You're in your feelings. And I'm not saying you don't have the right to be in your feelings, but you have to be a logical thinker. If somebody is not respecting the boundaries that you set forth from the beginning or during the process of building something with them, they were never going to respect them. If that's like if somebody's if your ex texts your phone and he's sitting here telling you how he miss you and how he want to be back with you, but you with a whole new man for months or for years, what are you doing that he feels comfortable? And sometimes some exes will just do that because they feel like they got it like that. But if this is somebody that you say is just your friend and is nothing more than that, this is just your friend, then it should be a boundary set so that no boundary is crossed. So where your partner doesn't feel disrespected. And that's why, like, I had told one of my friends, like, he be sleeping with one of his friends on and off. Like, I told him, I said, yo, bro, I said, how one day when you get in a relationship will you bring that friend around? And he said, oh, I'm just going to bring him around, introduce them as my best friend. That's my best friend. I said, that's crazy because that your partner could see that as disrespectful. Your partner could see that as you playing in their face. So we got to sit here and be we got to be who we are. We got to be who we are and know who we are at all times. We have to know that people are going to continue to always want to with us. But you know what? You can't be bitter about it. You got to respect the fact that people are who they are, but you have to believe them right away. Instead of keep trying to say, oh, well, you know what, Jamal going to change or Jasmine's going to change or Jalissa's going to change. No, that's not your problem. That's not your business to sit here and harbor on somebody changing. If they choose to do that or not, that's up to them. People are responsible for themselves, and people don't know how to take accountability of being responsible for themselves, meaning your actions, your reactions. Now, I get it. I've been in situations where things have made me feel like wanting to act out and go off and just scream and shout. And you know what? And my younger self would do that. And now that I have gotten older, my silence is not just because of my peace. My silence is because it's not allowing energy to be taken from me. So I know, like, I was just telling a friend of mine, I said, listen, you can't always get upset with somebody if they don't agree with you or if they don't want to be in love with you the way you are in love with them. You have to realize people will show you that they do not love you the same way that you love them. And that's okay. But what do you do with that? Do you turn that into anger and bitterness and pain? Or do you move forward in life and try to navigate and find a different path? You know, it gets kind of old hearing the same old stories of, oh, he cheated or she cheated and she was texting this one, he was texting this one. Well, are you leaving them? You know, I really be asking people that question. Are you leaving? Because if you're not leaving, why are you telling everybody this? Don't tell everybody what you're going through if you know you ain't leaving. Because now we're gonna hate that nigga or we're gonna hate that girl, and you, you know, we gonna dislike that person off the account of what you told us, knowing that you really ain't over it, knowing that you're gonna be back with that situation within a week or two, or sometimes less than the 24 hours that exist from when the issue started. It's all about accountability. We can't continue to blame others and not take accountability that we even allow them in our space or in our aura to feel comfortable enough to play with us like that. And I have gotten exhausted with repeat behaviors and repeat stories. I know what it is to be a good friend. I know what it is to be a good partner. I know what it is to be a bad partner. I know what it is to be a bad friend. We all have been something to someone that was not what they wanted. But we have to be honest with ourselves. Are we the people that we want around? You know, am I like me now? The me now, baby. The me now would love to be around me. The me now. Now the me before, no. Years ago, about 10 years ago, early 20s, no, baby, no, baby. No, did not have the emotional maturity to navigate through my emotions effectively to be a better version of myself. It took time. It took, you know, crash outs, you know, me no crash out over man. You know, it took to crash out a few times. It took a few times to realize that, damn, this mother. got me messed up and what, but now I be like, listen, man. Oh, word, we ain't cool no more. Listen, we don't have to go back and forth, baby. Go ahead. And it doesn't mean I don't care. And it doesn't mean I never had no feelings or emotions towards the situation or the relationship. Either it be a partner or a family member or a friend. It's just the fact that I'm not going to sit up here and give all my energy into feeding into what you want me to feed into, which is you ain't shit and you fucked up. But at the end of the day, if I feed into it, that's just going to give you the grace to sit here and know that you have an opportunity because I still have feelings towards the situation. I'm going to take my damn feelings to the left and I'm going to deal with those by myself. I'm not going to deal with those through my anger with you. I'm not going to do that. And I've done it before. But now when I tell people, I'll be like, "Nah." They be like, "Oh, I know you would crash out and get mad as a fear, da da da." I'll be like, "No." I'll be like, "No, I'm not." And they be like, "Oh, why?" I'll be like, "Because I'm not who I used to be. I'm not going to continue to belittle myself and little myself to be that low as a person." And it doesn't mean always walking away at every situation. What it means is if you know a person is no good for you, just stop trying to make it a better situation. Stop trying to push yourself to be in connection with somebody because of a history. Stop trying to push yourself to navigate through life the hard way because you have a problem with abandonment. There are so many adults out here that have so many issues with abandonment that they don't even realize that the things that they dealt with before in life, they are bringing into every aspect of life. And then they sit up here and question why they can't keep nobody or why nobody wants to be around. Because you have now become the person that was the victim that has now become the person that sit up here and causes chaos. And who wants to deal with chaos? Nobody wants to deal with somebody constantly crashing out. And I don't mean like it could be something minor. If somebody did something huge to you, then you have to know, how do I deal with this in a way that is not going to put me in a position that I am going to either lose my life or end up in somebody's prison because I don't know how to emotionally communicate my feelings. And sometimes when you don't know how to emotionally communicate your feelings, that's even more of a reason for you to step away. You have to step away because what it means is you're not able to get out what you need to get out in a safe space for yourself. Don't torture yourself and put yourself through that. Allow yourself that space. Maybe you need to step away so you can regroup and come back. Maybe you need to move yourself away from people who think that they can mistreat you and do anything that they want. You have to realize that everybody is in it for themselves when they really don't care about you. You know what I mean? Life is a give and take. You got to get something, you got to give something, you got to take something, and vice versa. You got to do both. Life goes back and forth. It's like a ping pong ball. It's like I could be good this day. I could be 100% this day while you are 50% this day. Or I could be 75% this day while you're 100% this day. It means that you are not going to always be in alignment with somebody's emotional balance, somebody's emotional communication. Because a lot of us get into this path of anger and we don't know how to effectively get out how we feel. So we continue to do the same thing over and over. It's a cycle. It's a cycle that repeats itself when we continue to attract the same people. And the reason why we attract the same people, family members, relationships, and outside source, like at coworkers and stuff, we attract these people because we have not established those boundaries in a respectful way. You can tell somebody your boundaries all day, but the first time they cross them should be the last. The first time they cross a boundary that does not exceed the expectations that you have for them, and they put you in a position that you feel uncomfortable in any manner, you have to now go in that mirror and look at yourself and say, how many times have I allowed this person to make me feel this way? No, you have to ask yourself, how many times have I allowed myself to make me feel this way? Because you are continuing to put up with something that does not feed you, something that does not do well for you, something that is only going to make you feel small to make it feel large. And that's the problem, is everybody wants to be the star. Sometimes people don't want to be the supporting cast member. But you have to realize sometimes that best person in that audience is the supporting cast member. Because you know what? When it's your time to be the shining star, they're going to come back around and they're going to sit up there and they're going to support you the same way you supported them. And that's why you have to know who you have around you, because everybody is not supposed to know what's going on, because a lot of the times we are not ready to walk away from those situations. I know that I would go back and forth about the issues that I would have with my family, with myself, and I would sit here and talk about it with my husband, and I would sit here and say, I don't know what to do. But I know that I don't want to do this anymore, but I don't know how to disengage. And I had to sit here and sit with myself. And I did a lot of journaling, because that's what worked for me, was to do a lot of journaling and communicate my feelings through a pen to a paper. Not typing in my phone, not getting on notes, not getting on apps, just literally taking a pen and a paper and going ham. And I had realized that I was allowing things to continue on for so long due to the fact that I was used to that. I was used to the behaviors. I was used to the ignorance. So I continued to accept it. And that's a lot of times what all of us do. And we do it because it feels comfortable. Hey, everybody, I'm Zafir from No Love Lost 2.0. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share. And make sure you check me out on iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Apple, and Spotify too. And make sure you continue to show that love. And don't forget, one love.